Today we are in Jones, Oklahoma at C&H Vineyard, and joining me is Harley Duncan, who is one of the owners and operators. You and your wife are doing this, and it's quite a backyard hobby you've got here. It's turned business, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your beautiful vineyard, if you don't mind.
Well, we started it as just something to do in our retirement, and then it started taking on a life of its own until it's turned into this. We were originally just going to do 100 vines or so, and now we've got over 1,500.
Oh my goodness. And several different hybrids. Tell me a little bit about what you have.
We have two hybrids, Chambourcin, which is a French-American hybrid, and then we have Sauvignon Blanc, which is also a hybrid. Then we have three vinifers, Cabernet, Muscat, and Riesling.
All right, so it is harvest season. We're towards the end of summer. In fact, you've already harvested some, correct?
We have harvested all of our whites.
Okay. And where are we at now in harvest?
So we're probably a week, maybe 2 weeks away. We're trying to make a decision this week. We may go ahead and harvest this week if the Brix continue to come up.
Okay, so let's talk about how do you know when it's time to harvest. We're looking at Chambourcin around us here, right? And that's maybe the next ones.
That's correct.
On the dock. So tell us a little bit about how you know what you're measuring and how do you know when it's time.
So we have a couple of different tools. We have a hand tool that we carry out in the field with us, and then we have a digital one that we use in the lab, and it's called a refractometer.
Okay.
And it measures the solids and the sugars, if you will. And I think it was developed somewhere in Europe, some guy named Brix.
Okay.
So it measures the way the light refracts through the solids. So the more solids, the more the light bends, and there's a little scale in there where it tells you exactly what the Brix are.
And now I know, pH and acid is also important.
Yeah, the pH, the total acidity, we check those things as well.
Okay.
There's a balance between all of those where the winemaker wants them to be within certain perimeters, and that's what usually helps us decide when to harvest.
Okay.
Now, sometimes this might be off a little bit, and you have to go ahead and harvest here. There are certain things you can do to make adjustments.
Okay.
And so all the winemakers know how to do that.
Right, right. So you've got the Chambourcin that are coming on, and tell us a little bit about the day of harvest, how that kind of plays out.
We invite friends to come out. There's an old joke that when you start, you have your friends come out. Now we don't have any friends anymore. but interestingly enough, we will put the word out on Facebook.
Okay.
And almost every year we get new people that come out that have never done this before. We had one recently with the whites that said this is his lifelong dream, to harvest grapes sometime.
Oh, wow.
So,
and you do it at the break of dawn, right? So you got to be early riser, get out here. But it's a beautiful morning to be out here, right?
And there's several reasons for that. One, because of the temperature. The other thing is, as soon as we harvest, we take them immediately to the winery, and he's going to crush them and destem them and press them. And so that window in between harvest and when they do that needs to be as small as possible, and you want it to be, you want to get that done early in the day,
right,
so that they'll have time to do everything they need to do. So.
Okay, all right. Now, when it comes time to harvest, what training? I mean, you're hiring the public out here to do this. Is it literally a matter of just cutting each grape bunch off, or? We
use pruners, and they're automatic.
Oh, okay.
If you happen to cut your finger, you'll immediately stop pulling on it. No, really, it's. There's not too much to it. I mean, you basically, you grab that, you cut it here, drop it in a bucket, go to the next one.
Go to the next one. Okay, so it's like an Easter egg hunt. If you see grapes, just put them in a basket, right?
That's it. There's anyone can become an expert in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I know you and your wife, Cindy, you have found a passion for this. Tell us a little bit about the grape industry as far as what all you've done with your tenure in this.
My wife actually got more involved in the industry, if you will. She volunteered to be the president of the Oklahoma Grape and Wine Industry Council. Then she started building relationships with all the different organizations, and we are purposely trying to grow the industry. The way it is right now, a lot of the Oklahoma wineries are using juice from California. Because we don't grow enough fruit here for the demand, and we part of our purpose is to try to get more people involved in the growing.
Right.
One of the things that we can do we can sit up there on the patio and we face the west, and we can watch the sun go down over the vineyard every night.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are people that pay big bucks to do that in California. We get to do it for free. So that in itself should encourage people to want to put a vineyard in. So,
well, is there any, I mean, being somebody who's grown grapes here in Oklahoma, tell me about some of the, you know, challenges that we might have here in Oklahoma with grape growing.
One of our problems is that morning dew that we love that makes things grow. The grapes are susceptible. If they get wet, there are certain fungus that can grow on them. And so we have to have a specific spray pattern that we do during the growing season. As long as we stay with that, the grapes can stay healthy. We've got certain problems here that California doesn't have. California's got problems that we don't have.
Right, absolutely.
It's the same thing in every region in the world. And so you just, we now have, through OSU, we have our own viticulture enologist, and he's willing to come out and help with any kind of problems that you may have in the vineyard so that we can learn to produce good quality fruit.
Right, right. And I know you guys are a very close-knit group, but also a very open group. You are willing to share anybody that has interest, kind of what your setup is and how this works, right?
And that's interesting, because this is what we tell people all the time. I am in no way an expert on all things viticulture. What I am is an expert on what goes on in our vineyard. So if I know it, I'm willing to share it. So I don't know everything, but what I do know, I'll share.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And so we're going to capture some of your grape harvest. It's coming up in a couple of days. And if people want to join in on some of the others that are coming on later in the season, Facebook is the best way to check that out. That
would be great. And we, you know, everyone that comes out here is just a friend we haven't met yet.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.